Another thing I did is I opened up a bank account for a bank just for $150. Haven't got it yet. They'll get their first deposit, direct deposit this Friday, and then I don't know how long it takes to get my $150. But cha-ching, nigga!
Spitting Venom Radio.
You drive for Uber. You just started driving for Uber. What is this? So there's something else that you've been doing for how long now?
For about a year since I got my car, I've been donating plasma.
Yes, and donating plasma. So you go to this place and you wait in line. Like, how often do you do it?
You can do it twice a week. Obviously, however many, as long as you can do it twice a week, but you can't.
Let's be clear. This isn't the only thing that Bob does either. He does
What we're doing is
we're going to break down
we're going to break down his many sources of income and then try to figure out why the fuck this motherfucker ain't rich. Why isn't he in the 1% yet?
Right. But no, say like my days for donating plasma are Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can never go if I donate Tuesday this week and Thursday this week. The week after that, I can't donate on Monday. It's got to be within the certain period. So I can do Tuesday and Thursday again, or I can do Wednesday, Friday. I just can't jump in time. So if I want to say all of a sudden start donating on Mondays, I got to miss a whole week or at least half of a week to start donating on Monday. So Tuesday, Thursday is pretty good with me.
So you do it like usually every Tuesday and Thursday,
right? Because I'm either scheduled to go in at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wake up early to go, or I get off early and I'll go after work. And like I go to Frederick, which is like an hour away. There is a place now, a newer place in England, Bernie, which is much closer. It's a different company. I haven't done that because I'm used to going to Frederick. I mean, I like the drive. It's peaceful. Obviously, it's putting more miles. It's more gas, but like my car doesn't really just devour gas. Right. So I do that. Make $25 my first time that week, $35 the next time that week. So that's $50. That's $60.
$60 a week if you do it twice a week.
And if there's any bonus on that second day of that week, or maybe if it's a holiday, like last year I did Thanksgiving, and you get X amount of bonus. But yeah, you can get like bonuses throughout the month. Like later in the month, you get a bigger bonus. I don't do it every month. There have been times where I'm like, you know what? I just don't fucking have the desire to make this drive. I don't feel like getting stabbed in the arm with a needle, whatever it may be. If you don't go a certain amount of time, they'll send you something in the mail saying, hey, we haven't fucking seen you. If you come in, we'll give you an additional $35. And I'm like, okay. They've sent it to me a few times. I've only taken advantage of it twice. Because the first 2 times, I didn't even read the shit. I just like, oh, they want me to come in. If I had read that shit and it was like, hey, we'll give you fucking $35.
I'm there.
I'm like, hey, I'm here, motherfuckers. You guys needed me? And like, yeah, I started doing it in May. I didn't start doing it in May. I was doing it in May for a while. I had a rental car. But then I had to give my shit back. Like, there was a bonus if you do it the week of your birthday. And that's always it is. But I couldn't do it the week of my birthday. I had to give my fucking rental car back, and I didn't have my car back. So that week I just didn't have a car. And I was kind of pissed about that. So I didn't even do it at all in June. I was just like, fuck it. And I went back in the middle of July. And I've been kind of doing it consistently since. My goal is you can make $200. You make more than $200 a week. $200 a month if you do it twice a week with the bonuses and whatnot. I mean, even if there were no additional bonuses, 65 times 4 is more than 200. So my goal is if I can make $200, put that aside into a certain bank account, and then the rest, if I need it for something else, that's cool. Like it's on a prepaid card, Citibank card, so I withdraw the money from fucking 7-Eleven. But I try to only withdraw $200. So even if at the end of the month I have $250 on there, I'll just take the $200 out, and then I'll still have that $50 in. As for why I'm not rich or I'm not in that 1%, because we all make fucking financial plans and goals. Doesn't mean we can go through with it. Like sometimes shit just goes south for whatever reason. You got to spend. You got to put this money over
money
here.
that you had saved.
So you also don't just do that, but you also collect like cans and
not just even cans, like metal in general. Like I recycle. I
save precious metals.
I wish it was precious metal. Precious metals are more like gold, silver, uranium, and shit. But no, like metal in general.
That's the big money. That's the big money.
Yeah. So right now, mostly like steel, aluminum. If I get my hand on some copper, copper's good. Mostly aluminum, which comes in the form of a soda can or a beer can. Like this is mine now. I'm taking this shit. I'm just taking this nigga's can. But
like at my house, like a box of cans.
Well,
you always rate like every time you come over, it's give me the cans. Give me the cans.
Well, he has some cans, but I'm not driving today.
You got to load him up with cans.
If I were driving today, I would stop and get him before but I'm not driving.
Right.
And well, I mean, I guess I could ask you to wait a second while he go gets it, but Yeah, I do the cans. I told you, like, on Thursdays, and you guys made fun of me, like, on Thursday mornings, I wake up at 2 fucking a.m., and I go to Charles Village and the surrounding areas, and I fucking go through people's recycles. Because, like, that's the day their trash gets, their recycling gets picked up. Yeah. So I'm like, I fucking take their cans.
Right.
Like, sometimes it's just like...
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Sometimes...
You get up at like 2 a.m. and
2 a.m., motherfucker.
This area.
And sometimes it'll be like... Because, like, they have recycling bins in the cities. Right. They don't have so much in the county. Right. But the cities, they have clearly marked recycling bins. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you go in there. I mean, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not trying to make a lot of fucking noise. Because, like, I'm still behind someone's house.
Right.
And I'm trying to be respectful for the fact they're sleeping. And they might just be...
Like, college places, because that's where, like, they drink Red Bulls and shit like that.
Yeah. But most of those places have, like, a designated bin. And it might not be as easy to get to.
Right.
Just like, like, when we went dumpster diving and stuff, like, some businesses have... compactor that you just can't get into, which is understandable. But no, I go to the neighborhoods, and I go through. Sometimes you'll get like 5-6 cans, and you can see like a lot of people drink beer.
Right.
There was one fucking house. Dude, like I see some cans on the top of the trash cans. I'm like, all right, let me get these cans. I go to get them, and I got like a crate, and I'm putting them in there. And I'm like, this whole fucking can is filled with fucking cans. And they were already crushed. So I was like, all right, let me bust out the trash bag. Go to the car, get the trash bag. And like, it's no way to not make noise. Like, if you're scooping it, it's going to take you forever.
Right.
So I literally picked the fucking trash can up and dumped the cans into...
cans.
Dude, literally a fucking... I don't know the bin size, but a legit trash can, full of fucking an already crushed can, so it's even that more. And they were all the same flavor. They were fucking Diet Barks root beer.
Wow.
But like that day, it was like, I don't know if that person just decided they were just going to clean up their entire house,
right?
Because there was a lot of different recyclables. Like there was a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons like guides, and those are paper, obviously, which do me no good. But they were there.
I was thinking video games and shit like that. Dungeons and Dragons kind of matches in there.
Right. They had like a bunch of fucking pots and pans and shit.
Right.
So that's metal. I took it. They had a fucking bunch of wire hangers. I took them. Right. Like I literally fucking... And it was weird. That night, I was driving, and I had a whole bunch of shit in my back seat because I don't have a big car. And I was like, I need to get rid of some of this shit because if I get pulled over or something, like I got beer cans in here. What if the officer's like, damn, nigga, you was thirsty? And I was like, let me take this shit to storage. But I was only about halfway through that alley, so I was like, I'll come back. And when I came back, that's when I just found like the holy grail of fucking soda cans. So I was like, oh, I'm glad I came back.
Nice.
And so like, yeah, you find a good amount of cans. Like last time I had.
But how much do you make off of that shit? Like, is it worth it?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
It is worth it. I can't think of because like in aluminum, I can't think of the price per pound.
Right.
But it is definitely worth it.
So generally, would you say that like it comes close to matching plasma, or is it not quite as profitable as that?
Lucrative. Not quite as lucrative.
In between.
We be getting lucrative.
It's more than if I were to do plasma once a week, but it's not necessarily as much as if I were to do.
So maybe about $30 a week from cans.
Even more than that.
Probably more than that, right?
It all depends on when I take it, because sometimes I don't even take it that because like if I work Monday through Friday, that only gives me Saturday to take them in,
right?
And like usually I just don't fucking feel like it. So
that's so funny. You get up at 2 a.m. and go dig through people's trashes for cans.
Yeah, and
I gotta remember to start saving my cans.
Dumpster diving, I've went with it.
But the dumpster diving wasn't so much for money. It was like, let's see what we can find that people throw away. Like we went to GameStop, so we weren't very lucky. But like we went to Sam's Club, and I happened to just find fucking old brake rotors in the trash, and that's metal. And that was pretty much the only thing we found.
You took that to the scrapyard?
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
You know, everywhere.
How much to make off of those?
It's steel. Steel doesn't get you as much as
copper.
Copper or aluminum. Mm-hmm. And I guess because it's more plentiful. But I mean, they still take it. I've been doing that, but I don't even have the dumpster dive because I worked for an auto part place, and some of the people that were mechanics, they knew what we would do, and they would bring it when they would change brakes and shit. But yeah, I found a new neighborhood for fucking cans.
For cans?
I'm going to do Hamilton this week, and that's Tuesday, which is good because I work overnight Tuesday, so I can get up at 2 a.m. on fucking Tuesday morning.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't mind.
Metal for you to take? Like, is it copper or aluminum?
Copper would be, but I've not been very... Copper would be, but I've not been very lucky with copper.
Right.
Yeah, I've just
Copper's hard.
Yeah.
People break into apartments and gut the walls in people's houses, just breaking out the copper, giving them ideas. I love how your reaction was naturally like,
let's do that.
I feel like fucking Donald Trump, like, yeah.
Get homes and stuff like that. I'll get I work at 911 and I'll get calls about that kind of thing.
What'd you say? I didn't hear. I was still laughing at what he said. I didn't hear the beginning of what you said.
Well, I work at 911 and I get calls about people breaking into vacant homes and taking out copper pipes.
All right, if you get those calls,
and do they ever catch them, or is it just like, we don't know?
So this is like people. It's like the alarms go off, or like people call.
Well, they'll just see somebody go, or like the homeowner will go back, or like the bank will go and check on like whoever.
Oh, I'll get what you. So like it's like a week later or something. They'll be like, my home's been vandalized. Like
yeah, and time has flew.
I mean, I guess
that's a big problem in kind of like a little bit of the worst areas in Baltimore, especially.
They also do it in like houses are actually being built up. Like,
yeah.
Well, it makes sense.
Come back the next day and like.
Everything's gone. Yep.
Like, because I was reading something about in Detroit. It was like, if you're going to buy a house, there's no point, like, if you're not moving in yet, there's no point even fixing it.
No.
Yet, because, like, unless you're paying somebody to be there.
To guard it.
As soon as you fucking do it, you can make your house look nice, neat as you want. If no one's in there, they'll fucking come clean your fucking shit out.
Yep.
And that's because Detroit's really bad. And it's probably not just Detroit, but Detroit
and dude, majority of the scrap metal from Detroit is being shipped over to China to build China's infrastructure. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Hey.
Your bitch ass is probably part of it. Like, hey, I'm gonna go sell this to the China man. I ain't discriminating.
I got fucking mouth to feed, man. But no, what else do I do? Those are the big four. I got a vanilla job, full time. Fucking hates. Uber, which I just started, which I don't think there's anything else I make money off of right now. I can't think.
Yeah, but that's interesting. That's interesting stuff right there. Just some
it's
extra
just like
money.
give you suggestions, like viewers or listeners, or
so
whatever.
that people could,
like,
if people need to make some extra money.
There's alternative.
Well, if you
sources
live
of
in certain states, you can even recycle bottles.
Right.
Like I don't know if it's plastic bottles or glass bottles.
Can't do that.
Huh?
I'm kind of surprised, like, because Maryland is a very liberal state.
Well, the thing
Baltimore in particular is liberal. So
what I'll say about that, from what I was reading, it's not necessarily a good thing. That like they pay for you to, if you donate your bottle. I mean, sure, they're making sure you're donating, but sometimes it costs you more money, and it's worse on like emissions and shit to drive to this facility. Whereas here in Maryland, they come pick your shit up.
yeah.
I mean, you pay a certain amount. I mean, at least in the city, I don't know how it is in the county. In the county, you probably take your shit to the dump unless you live in an apartment complex. But like, so that paying a certain amount of money for them to come pick your shit up versus you possibly making a certain amount of money to go drive it, a lot of people are more for your shit coming to get picked up. Yeah. Just because it is better for the environment because you have less cars driving to this place. And then some people were saying like, sometimes you'll get there and they won't even fucking pay you for this. And they be like, well, you can go put that in the trash over there. So it's like, there are some states where you can get paid to donate your bottle, recycle your bottles, but then there's some places like Maryland where it's just better to
And these are four legit ways for you to be making money. It's not like any kind of pyramid scheme. We're not here promoting any other place because you see a lot of these things, and I mentioned them earlier, but I'm not going to like try to call anything out specifically because I haven't delved into the business practice of these things. But the general thing of the pyramid scheme, though they claim not to be a pyramid scheme, but if the name just screams at you, it works. It kind of tells you like, okay, you had to name your company, it works.
I can speak on that, not particularly it works or Avon or
right, just kind of those types of things.
I tried to sell knives like fresh out of high school. Company called Cutco. Wasn't for me. Now, if it's for somebody, that's fine. I know when you're in there and
there are people who make a lot of money,
and they say, "Oh yeah, so and so got this great bonus." That's cool. He obviously knew some people that want to buy knives.
Right.
Like me, I know no motherfuckers that wanted to spend hundreds of dollars on fucking knives because the knives they got from fucking Walmart for $10 do the same job. They might have to replace it, but guess what? That's their budget.
That's what
they're not gonna spend $300 on a set of 12 knives that'll last a lifetime because they don't have fucking $300.
Right. or spend their money on things that aren't even scientifically proven.
And the reason why they say those are like pyramid schemes is because me as one to be a seller of these knives, I had to buy my tools.
Exactly, and that's the problem. The problem is, majority of the time, these companies make their money not off of selling their product, but selling their product to other
people that want to sell it, and that person may not ever fucking sell a thing.
And the person that got you in, like, oh, do you want to join my team? If you join my team, then I get a percentage of what you make.
And this is the thing, they would be like, well, you go to people's houses.
And of course you tried. Of course, fucking Bob Hollywood tried one. He tried it.
This is before
he needed to make some money, so he tried it. You got to talk to this guy if you're looking for some advice on how to make some extra money.
And it was it would be like, it's not door to door. You're not going unsolicited. You're making appointments. Like, say, Ron, I speak to you. Hey, can I come show you my knife? You're like, yeah, you can come show me. And it was like, you get paid for doing it, just stopping in people's houses.
Right.
But like, I did it like one house. I never even called them. I was like, fuck it, I don't even want to do this shit. Fuck you, job.
Right.
So yeah, I paid.
Going door to door to people's houses is not my thing either.
Yeah, door to door. That would honestly, that would be, even if you were selling something you think they would want.
Unless I'm selling
vacuums. That would add just a level, right?
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's annoying, and especially you're knocking onto this person's private dwelling, and you're trying to come in not only for them to welcome you into their home, but to sell them something so that they could give you money. Which is one of the last things they want to do when they're home relaxing. They don't want to have a stranger come in and try to make money off of them.
Yeah.
And I also
most people
point out, if you like doing these things, like I said, Uber's completely normal. Donating plasma, you can look up and see if you've got plasma centers in your area or somewhere you're willing to drive. That's completely normal. Mm-hmm. It's not like...
Have you done the sperm thing? Sperm banks or some shit?
I'm not a tall, white, educated dude, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what you need.
It doesn't work. I'm a nigger.
Unfortunate thing.
We don't need no more nigger sperm. We can get that. We can go grab Tyrone off the street and jerk him off
very easily. We can milk them.
But no, so like plasma, it's not. I don't think as a person who donates it, there's any sort of stigma. Like, I try to read shit. I mean, it's not going to stop me. They can say, well, this plasma, they really don't use it to make fucking medicine for people who have blood diseases or whatever, or blood sicknesses. I don't give a fuck. I got paid. But, so, like, in that regard, it doesn't stop me. But I do some reading. And it's like, in general, plasma companies have a bad rap because they are, in a way, taken away from, like, blood donors, like people that would donate for free, which you can't. I can't donate blood just because I donate plasma. I mean, of course, I don't have to fucking tell them. But if I go to donate plasma and I drove an hour away and my fucking levels are low and I can't do it, I'd be kind of mad. I just drove a fucking hour for nothing. And I got to drive another hour back. But, like, donating plasma is completely normal. Uber's normal. If you're going to fucking dumpster dive or recycle cans, you might get some weird looks. You might be able to say, like how I said to you guys, hey, I recycle cans. If you don't, just don't throw your cans away. Mm-hmm. But and that's normal if that's how you want to do it. But, like, some people legit will go in the trash can and take your cans out, which I'm not against. Like, if that's what the fuck you need to do.
Isn't that against the law to go through people's trash? Or once it's on the curve,
it's
not technically theirs.
I'm not really going through trash. I'm going through recycling, and I guess it's kind of the same way. But like, I don't have. I would feel weird if somebody was going through my trash as opposed to my recycling. I'm like, okay, because like, what if they just want cardboard boxes and you just have a shitload of cardboard boxes? Mm-hmm. Like, you never know what somebody's going through it for. But like, trash is a different story because then I would feel like
your personal
he's trying to find all my fucking information. Right, I would feel a little bit weird. And I would honestly, if I were out and I was collecting metal, whether it's cans or whatnot, and somebody was like, "Hey man, get out of my fucking recycling bin," I'm gonna get out of the fucking recycling bin.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like, "It ain't yours no more, mother." I'm gonna get the fuck out of the recycling bin.
Right.
It's like if I'm driving through an alley and somebody's motion light comes on, I'm like, "Oh, I won't be getting those cans because I don't want to be in the spotlight."
Right.
Again, it's fucking 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to get what I'm getting, and like, if somebody's in the alley minding their business or a car drives past, I'm not gonna be like, "Freeze, don't let them see me." Like T-Rexes. I'm just gonna mind my fucking business.
Yeah, you just.
So like, if I'm in your trash can, you're like, "Hey man, what the fuck are you doing?" And I tell them what I'm doing. I'm not just gonna start running and they be like, "No, don't do that." I'm just not gonna do that shit. I'm gonna skip him forever out.
Right.
So I mean, I don't want a confrontation. I don't want trouble.
Yeah, it's like, no issues. I just want the cans. Just give me your cans.
No issues. Just empty the fucking register.
Just give me the fucking cans, and we're good.
But no, there was one.
I don't want a problem here.
Right. There was one night morning, and it was getting closer to my cutoff time. It was like 5 o'clock, and just because I know more people are getting.
How many hours do you spend gathering the cans?
Like 3 hours. Hold on, hey.
But you get a good bit of cans then by doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 a.m. I mean, it was later than that. And I guess like a student or whatever, because I'm in by Johns Hopkins. A student's coming past, and this is that big ass. This is where I found all those fucking cans that were already crushed, and I'm putting them in the bag, and I'm making more noise than I would like to make, but it's unavoidable. And I guess the person walking through the alley, because I was really close to the end of the alley where the street was, I guess maybe they thought it was a fucking rat, and so this dude came running past the alley like high stepping, like he was scared as shit.
Damn.
And like I just started laughing. I was like, damn, man, I wonder if he thought it was a rat or if he was in trouble. But he looked legit scared. He even looked back at me and like saw me. He kept running. I was like, yeah, like I get that. Yeah, I try not to make noise just because people could be sleeping.
Right.
I try to be respectful.
And especially it's a weekday, so.
Right.
But can y'all record tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can anybody record tomorrougy?
Definitely.
Yeah, I can do tomorrow.
Let's do tomorrow. We'll cover what else we were wanting to cover for tomorrow, because I got to get up at 5 in the morning. That's why. But
I'm gonna go to the gym.
Yeah, but hey, we got an hour out of purely just Bob Hollywood talking about his life.
I mean,
it's
hey,
so weird.
Man, I got
majority of your time you're spending just trying to make that dollar.
Because like
you really are all about the fucking Benjamins.
I moved and like so now
he hustles. What can you say?
I moved and I don't have the internet connection I used to have.
Right.
So it's really no point in me playing video games. I mean, of course I can play video games without an internet connection.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of just
fun.
Well, it's not even that because a lot of games I like single player games that don't even involve the internet, but. Something just changed where I'm not as fascinated with video games.
Right,
like I can still sit down and lose myself for hours. Don't get me wrong. It's just that I don't have the desire to do it necessarily. Like if I sit down and do it, then it is what it is. But
yeah,
I kind of lost the desire to do it.
Dang.
I still like video games. I'm a gamer for life.
Right. You know one job that I think that you would be really good at?
What's that?
Car sales.
I don't want to sell anything to anybody.
I was talking to a salesman this weekend, and they can make a killing.
Well, no, you doubt because people usually
paid like an hourly wage plus they get commission, right?
Well,
do they get the hourly wage?
Depends on where you're working. Some are hourly wage plus commission. Some are you have to make your draw, which is what your hourly wage would be, and then everything else is pure profit.
But see, that's my thing is like, obviously, if you're at a car's lot, whether it's used or new car, if somebody walks into that lot, they're looking for something. They're already looking to buy something. I get that. Your job is just to sell it. Okay?
Nice.
Okay,
nice.
Tell us how you really feel.
All right.
Like, your job is to just to push that, make them commit to it,
right? Which
is cool, but I don't want to come off as sleazy in the process.
And it feels sleazy.
Like when I bought
That's
my car.
because I tried sales, and I didn't like it purely because of that fact.
When I bought my car, I didn't necessarily want to buy my car, but the salesman didn't force it on me. I just all of a sudden
he was
made
just
the
kind of
decision.
there to help you make the decision.
Like I went on a Sunday, the car was on a lot. Me and my father were looking at cars. Some of the cars were unlocked. That car was locked. So I was like, text my father the next day. I was like, hey, I really want to go back and look at that car to see if my big ass can fit in it.
Right.
I'm not a small person. My car's not a big car. So I was like, I need to know if I can fit in that car. What stood out to me about the car was the color. It's fucking like cherry red. It's fucking bright red. And the year, it was 2015. There was a lot of 2014, but the 2015 got much better gas mileage. So and it just stood out to me. And again, wasn't interested in Chevys necessarily, especially not Chevy Sonic, which I never would have even thought of.
Right.
But I got there on that Monday, sat in the car. I was like, oh, I like it. I can fit in it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's plenty of cars where there could be much more room. But I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Started talking to the salesman. I bought a fucking car.
It's cool.
Just like that. Like, it was just... And it's weird.
But you didn't feel like he was getting over on you or anything. He was just like, hey, I just want to buy the car.
He never once was like, yeah, man, if you do this, how about we do this? We do it. No, he didn't.
Right.
We got in there. He got his boss. Went to pretty much it was final. And then the boss was like, well, what do you want to do? Because one time I was like, the numbers is still kind of high. And the manager was like, well, how about we give you the fucking the mats and because it comes with mats, but they was like, how about we give you the sexy mats and you get the net in your trunk and you get all this other shit. We'll throw in the backup camera because it was there, but like we'll throw in the backup camera and for free. And it's like he took it down and it was cool. And then like my financing was wonderful. I didn't feel like anything was. I didn't feel like I was in prison and I was about to lose my virginity.
Right.
No,
right.
It was just like
a lot of people do feel like that though. They're just stressed. But I don't even think that it's in my opinion, it would be like in a situation like that, it would be to kind of de-escalate their feelings and make them feel more comfortable about the situation. Because everybody, anytime you see a salesman walking up to you, especially when you're on a car lot, you start thinking, oh God, here we go. They're gonna start upselling me on this, and they're gonna try and like. But I think that most of them, a good salesman probably don't do that.
I mean, I probably could have got my car for much cheaper. No, I don't want to say much cheaper.
A little bit, maybe a little bit. If you pushed it, probably.
My friend, and she ended up buying the same car from different place, same car, 2015, just a different color, same features. I think she even had one feature that I didn't have.
Right.
I don't remember what it was. 'Cause I haven't been in her car in a minute. Her monthly payments are cheaper than mine. So I'm pretty sure I could have, if I had been more knowledgeable about the car, I'm like, well, this place is going to sell for this.
Right.
It's just I didn't put the thought into it. I know now, in the future, if I want to buy another car, to do a little more research. Yeah,
We're almost done.
I'll have more research in the fence, but like I don't want to sell anything because I don't want people to feel like I'm forcing it on them. And it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't have to. Like I said, they're already there to buy something. They could just want more information and then just be hooked just like that.
Right.
They just got the information they needed. But I also don't want to work on commission. I'd rather work this than work my side jobs. If I could be like fucking Larry and play video games and make money, by all means, I'd do that shit. It's just that I never thought about doing that shit.
Right.
But to each his own.
Yep. But anyway, you got an interesting way to gather your income throughout the month. But hey, it worked. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It is what it is.
I'm not sucking dick and slinging crack rock. I'm good.
You're good. Then we'd have to sit you down and talk to you about it. Make sure we get some stories and then send you to rehab. But we got to talk to you first. We got to capitalize on it. Capitalize.
You guys haven't seen Bob in 10 years. This is what he's been up to, and I'm fucking weighing 105 pounds.
Yeah.
Fucking herpes all in my face and shit. Like, yeah.
Teeth rotten.
I got in a real bad way. I had to suck some dicks, man. I just couldn't stop and make that money, man. Like, and then like somebody was like, "Hey, man, you look stressed out. Why don't you try this crack rock?" And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't do that shit." They were like, "Come on, man, come on." And it was like they salesmen the shit out of me, and I started smoking that crack, man.
And it felt amazing. So I just smoked crack for a few years.
Another thing I did is I opened up a bank account for a bank just for $150. Haven't got it yet. They'll get their first deposit, direct deposit this Friday, and then I don't know how long it takes for you to get my $150. But cha-ching, nigga!